Hello there, Dear Grandma. Are you ever worried about your legs letting you down as you get older? That feeling of weakness, that fear of not being able to do the things you love? What if I told you there are simple ways to fight back and keep those legs strong and steady no matter your age? Today, I'm going to share 6 essential vitamins, little powerhouses that can make a real difference. The last one is a game changer. Now, before we get started on this important topic, please do subscribe to Dear Grandma so you don't miss any of my tips for staying strong and independent. Let's find out about that first wonderful vitamin for your legs. How does this stronger, more direct hook feel? It immediately addresses a potential worry and offers a solution, hopefully grabbing their attention right away. Number 1. The wonderful vitamin D for strong legs. Now, as we get a little older, many of us notice our legs aren't quite as strong as they used to be. Simple things, like getting up from your favorite armchair, going up the stairs to bed, or even just pottering around the house, can feel like a bit of a challenge. At first, you might think, well, that's just getting older for you. But for many people, the real reason behind this might be something we often don't even think about. Good old vitamin D. Vitamin D is just so important for keeping both our bones and our muscles healthy. It doesn't just help with strong bones, it actually helps our muscles work properly too. You see, vitamin D helps your body take in calcium, and that calcium is what keeps our bones strong. Without enough vitamin D, our bodies can't use that calcium properly, and our bones can become a bit fragile and weak, making them more likely to have a little bump or a fall. But that's not all. Low levels of vitamin D can also make our muscles feel weak and tired, and that can make us feel a bit wobbly. So, those things that used to be easy, like standing up, going for a little walk, or climbing the stairs, can become tiring and difficult. But here's the good news, my dears. That weakening in the legs that many of us experience isn't always just about getting older. Often, it's linked to not having enough vitamin D, which makes our muscles tired and not as strong as they should be. Without enough of this sunshine vitamin, our muscles can't support us properly, making it harder to keep our balance and making our legs feel tired quickly. Take my dear friend Barbara, for example. A lovely woman, 72 years young, and she was really struggling with her legs. She used to move around her house with no trouble at all, but then even walking from the kitchen to the sitting room would leave her needing a little rest. Everyday things just became exhausting. After a chat with her doctor, they found out her vitamin D levels were very low. The doctor suggested she try a little cod liver oil each day, just a tablespoon. And you know what? Within just a few weeks, Barbara felt such a difference. Her legs felt stronger, and that tiredness she'd been feeling just started to fade away. Those little leg cramps that used to keep her awake at night? Gone. And she felt so much steadier on her feet. It was like she had her get up and go back, and it all started with that one little spoonful. It just shows you how vitamin D can make all the difference, helping you get your mobility, strength, and independence back even as the years go by. Number 2. Wonderful vitamin B12. Keeping our muscles strong. Now, another really important helper for keeping our legs strong is vitamin B12. This one is so important for our nerves and for keeping our muscles going strong, and if we don't have enough, it can cause all sorts of little troubles. If your legs feel weak, a bit unsteady, or even a little bit numb, it could be a sign that you're not getting enough of this vitamin B12. You see, this vitamin helps our nervous system work properly, and that's so important for our muscles. Without it, the messages between our brain and our muscles don't get through as well, which can lead to poor coordination and weak muscles. As we get a little older, our bodies aren't always as good at taking in vitamin B12 from our food. So, even if you're eating a good, balanced diet, you could still be a little low in this important vitamin. When those vitamin B12 levels drop, our muscles don't get all the oxygen and good things they need, and that can make them feel tired and wobbly. My friend John, a lovely man of 68, had been having trouble with his legs feeling unsteady for months. They felt heavy, and his balance just wasn't right. Walking around became a bit of a worry, and he was always a little afraid of falling. One morning, getting out of bed, he did have a little tumble. That really made him go to the doctor, and that's when he found out his vitamin B12 levels were low. So, John started adding a little nutritional yeast to his meals. It's a really good way to get vitamin B12, especially if you don't eat meat. And just a few months later, John's legs felt so much stronger. He felt much steadier and noticed his legs didn't get tired after just a short walk anymore. It was just wonderful to see how that simple little change in his diet helped him get the strength and steadiness back in his legs. Vitamin B12 really played a big part in giving him back his get up and go. For John, a small change made a big difference. Number 3, wonderful vitamin C for happy joints. Now, keeping our joints nice and flexible and strong is so important for our legs, and good old vitamin C plays a big part in that. We all know it's good for our immune system, but it's also really important for making something called collagen. Now, collagen is like the glue that holds our tendons, ligaments, and cartilage together, keeping them strong and flexible. But as we get older, our bodies don't make as much collagen, and that can lead to stiffer joints and make us a bit more prone to little injuries. But that's not all. Vitamin C also helps to calm down any little inflammations in our bodies, and that's often what causes those achy, stiff joints. By making sure we're getting enough vitamin C, we can help keep our joints moving nicely, reduce any discomfort, and recover a bit quicker after we've been doing a bit of walking or activity. My dear friend Margaret, 74 years young, had been having trouble with her knees aching and feeling a bit slow to recover after her walks. Even a short stroll would leave her knees feeling sore and her joints stiff. Her doctor suggested she try getting more vitamin C, so Margaret started adding a little acerola cherry powder to her daily routine. It's a lovely natural way to get a good dose of vitamin C. And within just a few weeks, Margaret felt such a difference. Her knee pain eased up, and her legs felt much more flexible. She wasn't so stiff after her walks, and walking became easier again. Her muscles even felt a bit stronger. It just shows you that vitamin C isn't just good for keeping colds away. It's a real friend to our legs, helping with both comfort and strength. Number 4, wonderful vitamin K2 for strong bones. Now, we all know that calcium is important for strong bones, but there's another vitamin that's just as important, and sometimes we forget all about it. Vitamin K2. You see, vitamin K2 helps to guide that calcium right to our bones, where it's needed most. Without enough vitamin K2, that calcium can end up in other places, like our arteries, and that's not so good. When we don't have enough vitamin K2, that calcium doesn't do its job properly for our bones. This can lead to our bones becoming a bit brittle and our legs not feeling as strong as they should, making little falls and fractures more likely. So, even if you're having plenty of milk and cheese for calcium, you might not be using it properly without enough of this vitamin K2. My friend George, a lovely gentleman, always had a diet rich in calcium, but he still had a bit of a fall and broke his hip. He'd been doing all the things we think are right for strong bones, but they were still weak. When the doctor checked his vitamin K2 levels, they were very low. After he started having a little grass-fed butter each day, it's a good source of vitamin K2, George felt such a wonderful improvement. His bones felt stronger, and his legs became more mobile again. That ache he used to have in his hips started to ease, and he got back some of the movement he thought he'd lost. That vitamin K2 in the butter helped the calcium go straight to his bones, where it was needed, instead of settling in other places. It's a good reminder that strong bones need more than just calcium. They need vitamin K2 to work properly. Number 5, wonderful magnesium for happy and relaxed legs. Now, magnesium is a wonderful mineral that people often call the relaxation mineral because it helps our muscles relax and work properly. If your legs ever feel tight, cramped, or just really tired, you might be needing a bit more magnesium. It's so important for our muscles, our nerves, and for giving us energy. Without enough magnesium, our muscles can get tense and have little spasms, which can be quite uncomfortable and cause those leg cramps. As we get a little older, it's more common to not have enough magnesium, and that can lead to restless legs, those nighttime cramps, and just a general feeling of being a bit sluggish. But the good news is, it's often quite easy to add a bit more magnesium to our diets. It can make a real difference to our legs quite quickly. My friend Linda, a lovely lady of 70, had been suffering with terrible leg cramps at night. She'd wake up in pain, unable to get back to sleep because her muscles were so tight. After her doctor suggested trying some pumpkin seeds, they're a great source of magnesium, Linda started to feel so much better. Within just a few weeks, those cramps weren't happening as often, and she found herself waking up feeling much more rested. That magnesium not only helped her muscles relax, but also helped her circulation, making her legs feel lighter and more responsive. Her story is a perfect example of how magnesium can really help our legs feel happy and healthy, reduce those cramps, and give us a bit more energy too. Number 6. Wonderful vitamin E for good circulation in our legs. And finally, let's talk about vitamin E. This is a really important one for our circulation, making sure our blood vessels stay nice and flexible and open. As we get older, sometimes our circulation isn't as good as it used to be, and that can make our legs feel a bit sluggish, heavy, and tired. Vitamin E helps to keep that blood flowing nicely by acting a bit like a natural helper for our blood, allowing all that good oxygen and nutrients to reach our muscles more easily. My friend Susan, 65 years young, had been having trouble with her legs swelling up, especially if she'd been sitting for a while. That swelling made it hard for her to stay active and enjoy her daily walks. Her doctor suggested she try a little wheat germ oil. It's a wonderful source of vitamin E. After a few weeks of adding it to her diet, Susan noticed a real difference. Her legs felt warmer, less swollen, and just more energized throughout the day. Thanks to that better circulation, Susan found she could move around much more freely, even after sitting for longer periods. That swelling went down quite a bit, and her legs just felt so much lighter. Vitamin E really made a big difference for Susan, and it's a lovely reminder of how important good circulation is for keeping our legs healthy and strong. So, my dears, as we enjoy our golden years, keeping our legs strong is about so much more than just a little walk now and then. It's about giving our bodies the right nourishment to keep them working their best. By adding these 6 wonderful vitamins to our daily routines, we can help make sure our legs stay strong, steady, and full of that lovely vitality for many years to come. And the best part? It doesn't take much. Just a little spoonful of cod liver oil, a sprinkle of nutritional yeast on your dinner, or a handful of pumpkin seeds can really make a difference. Our bodies are so clever, and they really do appreciate it when we take good care of them. With these helpful vitamins, you'll be able to keep enjoying your independence and strength well into your 90s and beyond. Now, tell me in the comments below, have you ever thought about vitamins for your leg health? Perhaps you've even tried some of these already. And if you found this video helpful, please do share it with your friends and family who might also benefit from these little tips. And of course, if you'd like more of my little chats and helpful advice here on Dear Grandma, please do tap that subscribe button. We're all in this together, my dears. Wishing you all strong legs and a wonderful active day.